Hello, everyone. This is Duraloon or Josh or whatever you know me by. Um, what I wanted to record this video for today is to show you guys me and Carly's run attempt on Visions. Usually we average about 20 minutes and we are able to complete every single objective. Wait 1 second, let me read this. Uh, okay, so we are able to get every objective, and the reason we initially started doing every objective was not for the actual cape upgrade. It was actually for the mailboxes because she's somewhat of a mount collector. As a lot of you probably know, I am a huge mount collector. So basically, this video could be educational, it could be for entertainment. I don't really know what my purpose is in recording this. But basically, we're gonna try and get every objective, and we've been doing this, like I have 6 vessels when I started this, and we've done it all 4, this two times in a row about. So this is going to be our 3rd run, and I think I'm going to do about 3 more. She always takes a little bit to load in. She's running on bad Wi-Fi, but that's okay. And this was from our last run, so let me clear that. I do more DPS than her, but that's not really the point. She main specs a healer, so she doesn't know like every ability, or she does know every ability. She just doesn't scratch that. She just might not be the best in her spec, basically. She's pretty good at DPS. It's just for some reason with all the Azurite pieces, she just doesn't have the best in slots and things like that. So she doesn't do as much DPS as she could. So basically, going back is I'm gonna try and label out each person's mechanics. I'm going to label out every single person's mechanics and what they do. I'm going to say how to avoid losing sanity. Basically, there is a way we do this. I can't do it solo, which is really nice how she's here to accompany me. I don't lose sanity that fast because my cape is level 13. Hers is level either 11 or 12, I think 11. So she does take a lot more sanity loss. So what happens is she has a free revive and I have a free resurrect. I'm gonna go ahead and start it now, but that's basically how we do it, is that I let her die twice in a row and I'm still like higher than halfway. The best way if you're running this solo to get as far as you can is don't stand in mechanics, and like I said, I'm gonna try and label out every single one of them so it's not confusing. What's also very important is getting every single interrupt on pretty much everything. I'm going to try not to talk, to just ramble. This is actually my 2nd time recording this, and I rambled a lot the first time. But I will go over the mechanics when they happen. So this is the first thing we're going to do, is we're going to go to the mailbox right here. There's 5 of them across the map on both Orgrimmar and Stormwind. And basically the purpose of that is we're looking for the mount. So if you're not into mounts, you don't need to be doing it. But since we both are mount collectors, we do go for mailboxes. The totems that spawn, I'll try to show you an example. You do have to draw, or you have to destroy them almost immediately. The whole idea also with these is that you only have 3 of them, so if you do run it with someone else, you do have to coordinate who's going to be using them. If you allow every person in the party to use it, then it's just going to be wasted if they are freaking out, and maybe you can utilize their deaths more if you have upgrades from the corrupted mementos that you get. So Surging Fist, like she just got hit by, you have to move out of. And that was actually my mistake because I didn't taunt the enemy. So I let her on her. But basically during Surging Fist, just take 2 steps to the side and you won't get hit for any sanity loss. For me and Carly, we also start at the Valley of the Wisdom, mainly because we just find that to be the easiest for us. Yep. And she's been getting really better every run with not stepping in things and actually being able to do better damage, which is really cool. Alright, so these Dominators, the ones I'm going to mark with a skull right here, they do have, you don't need to interrupt the Void Bolt, but their second move is Touch of the Abyss, and it does stun you. And they basically put that mechanic in, so when you get stunned, you just get stunned into another person's swirly, and next thing you know, you're taking like half your health. So those you do need to target first. This guy you always have to be moving for. Every time he casts something, start walking. So start walking for this, because it goes on top of you. Start walking for that, like she just did. She just did perfectly on that. So I'm going to start walking for that. She just did a really good job with that. I think it's our first time not getting hit by that. And I've done this a lot of times, so I'm able to kind of move out of most of their moves. These appendages you do need to target first, no matter where they are on this map. They do fall into the ground as you just saw, and they do come back up, and it's kind of annoying, especially if you're trying to go for time. So there's a main boss and a mini boss. This is another mini boss. He's not that powerful. He does pull you towards his jump, so you just have to walk. It's that simple. Right there. So you just wait for him to leap. He's going to do Howling Pain, which silences, so she stopped casting right there. And then there's also a second mailbox right there. Perfect. She gets the mailbox, and then we will get this boss. Since she has not died, I'm not going to waste a sanity, since I've only lost 280. So I am going to let her die twice here. This guy, just keep moving when he does that straight beam. Don't step in the swirlies, and don't touch the orbs. He does spawn a lot of ads, which is a little annoying, but it's manageable. And I think that's the strategy for most of these fights, is you just keep moving. Unlike a lot of the bosses in this game, the ads don't despawn once the boss dies, so you do have to DPS those down. And she is at 90 or 88 out of 1300, and she is going to die. I'm going to let it happen because she has the upgrade that she has one free revive on herself, and then I have one free revive on her. So we're essentially going to wait for her to die twice, since I don't lose that much sanity. The Mental Assault you always need to interrupt. It does so much damage. I think these guys have a Void Buffet. I think that's what it's called. I can't remember off the top of my head. But you have to interrupt that as well, because that does a lot. This person polymorphs you if she is up and makes you jump in water sometimes. So you just have to be aware of that. Maybe pop a cooldown or two. Okay, perfect. Yep, so this is what you interrupt every time. then, yeah. I never get tempted by the chests. Sometimes there's some on these islands over here. I never really get tempted by those. If they're only going to give like 50, I'm not going to risk it to go out there and touch the water and to essentially get hit. I'm going to go kill these guys while she gets the totem. And I know there's still one person up, but that's fine. Perfect. So focus interrupts on the void element for this, and ignore the will breaker. He doesn't really do anything. Since she is squishier, I do taunt off Carly every time. And that's mainly because I have a lot of moves that I can take less damage for. Now this boss, he's going to put you into a yellow hopelessness, and then you have to find your, whatever it's called, the little swirly that gets you back alive, or conscious. And then there's the waves that are pretty easy to avoid, and the third mailbox is right here. And she's at 146. I am going to let her die, since again, I'm only at 888. And pretty much what this allows us to do is every other boss from here on out, we can use this when we face the boss. '83. These guys I can usually just get by just by doing the beam. Shockwave obviously move out for. Okay. This boss up here, you will need to pop a cooldown or two on. This is my free revive, should get her to about 647, that's pretty good. Now we're about even. And that's the whole idea, is we're still at 3 and we only have 2 objectives left. Which is really nice. This guy does the straight beam on you, just walk against it. I don't believe it does any sanity loss, I think it just does health, which is really nice. Obviously the swirlies move out of that, and talk to this person when she wakes up. With the buildings, there is only one building that has an enemy in it when you open it, so it's going to want you to open like a bunch of different shops. This shop right here does have the enemy in it, and you just have to be prepared for that. The rest of them will never have an enemy in it. And because she does do lower damage, she usually does get the shops, and she probably will, while I basically kill everything. So there's this shop that has an enemy. While he comes out, I usually open this shop, and then I'll go back to this guy. Perfect. The Mind Carvers, I believe that's what they were called. It might have been the other one, but again, just a reminder, you do need to interrupt every single time during that Touch of the Abyss. It does stun you into those swirlies, and you don't want that to happen. Now this next boss, I'm not going to hold on to these anymore, since I don't want to use a revive on her. So we're just going to stand in this, and we're going to pull the boss into this so we cannot lose sanity. I think I did a little late here, but basically you get the idea of what we're doing, is while this is still healing, not healing, but getting our sanity up, essentially we're still getting sanity from it. This boss has 2 bubbles. This is the first one. In fact, they might have done it together. But you basically have to burst this person's bubble to not have massive damage happen. For the main boss, we do ignore that mechanic because we simply can't do that damage. It's a lot of damage to do. But we still have 2 sanity orbs, and we're going into the final area right now. Yeah, so I basically can't move because of one of the enemies. I don't actually know that mechanic, but they're a little dangerous here. You just have to kind of take it one at a time. Which is funny because that's exactly what I didn't do. I'm gonna get hit by this, which is fine. I know we didn't say that was the last mailbox over here, but that was the 4th one at that location, and this is the last one, the 5th and final one. These guys do have a pretty nasty headbutt that you want to just be prepared for. I have been headbutted into this void area before, and it does do a lot of damage, so you don't want that to happen. And they do usually pull the mobs on the sides right here. And yeah, so we're basically going to go into Thrall with an entire sanity orb, which obviously is going to be so useless. Okay. There's only this mob and then the main guy. Now, Thrall, which is the main boss for Orgrimmar, he does copy the abilities of the objective bosses that you kill. So what I mean by that is this objective boss is Rexar, and he does have his pets. For this one, we ignore the pets, but when we face Thrall, we are going to kill the pets, if that makes sense. So for this one, and I didn't use a sandy orb, which sucks. That's my bad. But the pets are going to summon, and we're basically going to not kill them. I am going to stun them, unless I'm stunned. Actually, got it. That's basically because this boss is so weak. It's kind of funny how weak he is. Okay. So we're gonna go use this wind totem. In Stormwind, it's a portal. You're gonna go back since we just completed the final zone. And we're gonna go face Thrall. Now, Thrall, when you kill objectives, I don't know this to be a fact, but I'm pretty sure he does gain health, and he definitely gains the abilities of the previous objectives that you killed. So every single objective or thing that I had to go over on what to do, the abilities, you still have to know. And I'm going to use an orb right before this fight, just so we don't die. Okay, so basically these Void Boars we're going to kill at first, simply because I don't want to deal with them halfway through the fight. You want to pull Thrall, whoever's going to tank him, into a corner for Defiled Ground. That went the wrong way, which is cool. He does this circle move where you either have to be in the center or on the outside. There's Hopelessness, which we experienced with the yellow, swirly, Defiled Ground, where she's going to get hit. Here's where you break the shield. It's kind of useless to break it, because even with all my abilities, it still doesn't even do that much. I'm going to pull him. There's defiled ground. She moved. You pull him out of the circle. And the idea is that defiled ground gets only along the wall, so the center circle isn't cluttered. We're obviously still working on that. We do run a lot of these together, but we can always get better. Nice job. We didn't get the mount. Mail Muncher would have actually come out of the mailbox, so we didn't get that. But what we did get is a bunch of corrupted mementos and pages for your cape. And yeah. I hope you guys found this at least educational, maybe entertaining. I doubt that, but my main goal was just to show you guys the mechanics on how me and Carly get all 4. So yeah, appreciate it.